Okay, for this video I wanted to cover the IRS form 5754, which is used to split the reporting of gambling winnings across multiple persons. So I've got a slide in front of us which is going to outline some of the rules and an example that we'll look at, and then we'll run through the 5754 sample form here to see how everything kind of works. So who needs to complete this form? Well, if you're a U.S. taxpayer, you are taxed on your worldwide income, right? So gross income from whatever source derived, and that includes prize money, gambling winnings. So all of that's got to be reported on your tax return, and you pay taxes on it. Now, in order to ensure reporting, a lot of payers are required to issue W-2Gs if the payout winnings exceed certain thresholds, right? So the reason why this 5754 is important is because there are a lot of individuals that pool their funds to participate in prizes, and so in order to make sure everything is accurately split amongst everyone, you might need this 5754. So W2G reporting again. So for example, if we have an individual here who wins more than $1,200 at a slot machine in a casino, the casino needs to collect information on the winner and issue them a W2G, and then that winner uses the W2G to complete their tax return. Right? Now, if a winner agrees to split the winnings with another party, this is where the 5754 is used to make sure that only each person is being allocated the amount that they're supposed to keep. Right? In other words, not one person is getting reported all of the income. So if we look at our example here, we have John, Adam, and Brian agree to each contribute $40 to a pool, so $120 in total. And then John is going to go to the casino with that money and play the slots. And they agree that, okay, if we win, then we're just going to split everything 1/3, right? So John goes to the casino and he gets a nice big payout of 15 grand. Now, because the amount exceeds that reporting threshold of $1,200, right? Remember, that's the standard for slots. All the winnings now have to be reported on a W-2G. Now, because John's the only person there and he's the one that won the money, the casino by default would just issue everything to John. So they would issue a W-2G for 15 grand to John. And then so that would be reported to the IRS in that total under John's name and John's social security number. Now, this is obviously a problem for John because he doesn't want the IRS to see that he received $15,000. He's only getting to keep $5,000, right? Because he's going to split the rest with Adam and Brian. So what they do is at the casino, they complete the 5754. Each person provides their information, and so the casino now is going to issue W-2Gs to each person for whatever their allocable share is. So let's look at the example here and see how this works. So the 5754, you complete portions of this, and then the payer, so the casino, would complete other fields. So the casino generally does the stuff up top here, right? The date, won, the type of winnings, game machine number information. The person to whom the winnings are going to be paid, so this is John because he's at the casino. So he's got John puts down his name, his address, whatever his social security number is, and then another ID, which is generally used your driver's license. So John puts down his driver's license ID. Now the total amount that's going to be received here again is the $15,000, and there is not going to be any federal income tax withheld. In some circumstances, federal taxes are withheld. It's usually around 24%. Generally, it happens if the winnings are over certain thresholds or you don't provide a taxpayer ID number. But in this case, just for simplicity, we're going to say that no federal income taxes are being withheld. So John puts his information up here, and then he completes the rest of this stuff down here to show the allocation of the winnings. So if the person in part 1 is also getting a piece of the pie, they are listed first in part 2 here, and you simply put same as above for A, B, and C, and then the amount that John or the person in part 1 is going to keep. Then you list the other individuals that are going to share in the prize money, so their names, their social security numbers, their addresses, and then the amount that they are being paid out. So obviously all the totals or the amounts in column D should total up to what's above here in part 1, right? So make sure everything is properly allocated down to the dollar. And then at the bottom here, generally the person in part 1 would sign this. There is an exception that says if there's no withholding tax in part 1 here, then it doesn't have to be signed. But I think just for good measure, John would sign this and date this and then provide it to the payer. Okay, now just to be clear, this is not filed with the IRS. This is only prepared and sent off to the person that's going to pay out the winnings. Okay, so the reason you don't have to send this to the IRS is because the IRS only wants the W-2Gs. So the person that's going to pay out the money needs this to prepare a W-2G for John, for Adam, and for Brian, and then they keep this internally for their records. This is not sent to the IRS. Okay, so that covers it for this form. Pretty straightforward. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Thank you.